What's up, guys? MECKO here. Today's episode is a tip and how-to, and we're going to discuss how to get your controller to work on Steam for games that are having issues recognizing your controller. Buttons are swapping on you every 10 seconds, or the buttons aren't just working correctly, or joysticks aren't working correctly for that game, even though it says it's got full support of controller for PlayStation and Xbox. What you're going to do real quick, by the way, just to make a point for record that this video and tip and how to has been successful on March 7th of 2020. This is how you're going to get it to work. This is for under Steam games only. What you're going to do is right click on the game, and we're going to start with Sonic Generation, the most infamous game that has issues with controller support, where it just doesn't want to remember your button mappings even though you set it up, or the buttons switch on you every 10 seconds. During gameplay. So what you're going to do is right click on that game, go to properties, and then under Steam input per game settings requires restart of game. You're going to drop that window down, and for me, forced on, because it automatically sets it as default. Default setting is use your global Steam input settings, PS, Xbox, or generic. That's relying on Steam to tell the game how to use the controller. Obviously, some games don't want to listen to that and do its own thing. So this is the only game I noticed that works with forced on. So keep that on, and the game works great. Haven't had any issues. This has been working successfully for the past 3 days. Every time I load up the game, the controllers work. You still have to go into the game when you switch it and configure the settings. I'm sure anybody who plays Sonic Generations know what I'm talking about to do all that. Other games such as Soul Calibur 6, Tekken 7, DOA 6, those games they all worked fine at one point, just like any other game. They all work just fine at one point, and then they just don't one day for whatever reason. Just go into its properties and switch them. Both those 3 games have worked successfully and no issues whatsoever when I switched it forced off. All 3 games have worked just fine. I don't know what the deal is with those fighter games and period. They just don't work. South Park's Fractured But Whole was the same as Sonic Generations, where the buttons would switch on you every few seconds, and it makes it difficult to play the game whenever you're trying to be strategic. This one I have set off. So there is no rhyme or reason to what game has what its issues are for those 3 settings. Just mess with those 3 settings and go through and just play the game and see if it works. Batman's the only one. Batman Arkham Knight is the only one, because everybody knows how buggy this game is on PC, that if you leave one setting on, it doesn't stay. It doesn't stick. When I first got the game, it was on its default use your global Steam input setting, and it worked fine. I beat the game all through. Uninstall it, reinstall it at some point, and it doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. I went through on, and it worked fine. Yesterday, it was fine. Or no, it didn't work fine, and then I switched back to this one, and it worked great. This morning, did not work, so I'm going to try forced off today. So with Batman Arkham Knight, or probably a few other games, it's just whatever mood it's in, I guess. You have to pick one of those 3. It's already annoying. I know, to go into a game, back out of the game, and select a different setting. But this way, at least you have 3 options instead of crossing your fingers and hoping it works without messing with anything. This way you actually are messing with something, and it has worked successfully for the past 3 days for me. Just with Batman Arkham Knight, you just have to mess with it with those 3 settings. I can't take credit for coming up with this fix. Somebody in the Steam forums, I've searched and searched. Nobody has no specific answer whatsoever. One specific guy posted this comment, this quick fix, and it's worked for me. I wish I can remember his name or how to search and find him to give him a shout out and thank him for solving this problem, because I love these games. I want to play them, and I'm a controller freak. I prefer controller over mouse and keyboard, depending on the game. We'll just make that very clear. But I wanted to make sure these games, especially fighter games, I want our joystick. I love my joystick. Let me know if this helped you all any. Comments in the comments down below if you have any issues, and maybe we can fix it together. And just let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this tips and how to. And I will talk to you all in the next episode. Peace.